Welcome back to the 52 Weeks to Wealth. My name is Walter Murillo, and we have finally made it. 52. I want to get the feedback from the coaches. Is Ryan McDermott here? I want to make sure I grab him before he has to leave. There he is. Ryan, you're up. I know you got soccer with the kids at some point.
Yeah, soccer in the since snow soccer today. That's what we're doing.
That's right, Boston snow. Yeah, sorry about that. In Florida, no snow.
Yeah, just check my Instagram and you'll see what we're dealing with. This is a lot. 52 wealth principles, 67 participants on the call who are their own wealth principle, and 7 highly effective habits. I'm going to stick with, and I wrote it down. Where did I write it down? And this begin with the end in mind. That is my favorite of the 7 habits, and it appeals directly to what I do for folks, is helping them think through the phases of wealth. The first phase of wealth is accumulation, which is what we're all in. We're trying to make our net worth tracker bigger, right? Our small asset into a bigger asset. The next phase of wealth is really that financial freedom, retirement, living off of our assets, working because we want to, not because we have to. And then the third phase is legacy. And legacy is kind of what you leave behind, to the people that you care about, the charities that you care about. And so it's so often that we get tied up in that first phase, just thinking only about accumulating wealth and not necessarily about financial freedom. And sometimes strategies and tactics that work in the accumulation phase are conflicted with legacy, and they're conflicted with financial freedom. And that's what we help people sort out. And I think it takes reminding yourself of what those next phases are. Pro tip, if you're getting stuck and a little bit bored in the accumulation phase, and it's not getting you excited about growing your business, thinking about those next phases, particularly legacy, is the thing that might actually be the fire to get you to crush through whatever you're struggling with in your business. And just a thought there. So I'll leave it at that. But thanks for a great 52 weeks, and excited for the next 52.
Hell yeah! Let's give Ryan McDermott a round of applause. And I'm just catching up a little bit on the chat. I see Melissa Baker said, Walter, Alchemist Nation in workplace or Facebook. It's easier if you go right to alchemistnation.com, find my profile. I'm one of the top members because I think I have like 150 posts. So just go to the members section, type in my name, and you can search me easily. And then just shoot me a message there. It says, say hi up at the top box, and say hi. I mean, don't just say hi, like ask a question. I only value questions. Dr. Terry Wager, you're up. Actually, Doug, I don't know if you have something to do with your daughter, so
I see Doug go.
You're up.
Thank you. So,
welcome.
We do have a gaggle of girls here, so, which is crazy. So brilliant as always. Oh my gosh, so much in here. How many of y'all you're like hit by knowledge and wisdom shrapnel, like from like each little week? Like, oh man, and each one of these is a huge rabbit hole. And a couple things I'd just like to really quickly touch on. Number one is, if you look at chefs, when do they sharpen their knife? Always. Before and after. You see them, they'll take it out and they run it on the little honer, and they do it, then they use it, and then they do it again. So it's always, always, always being sharpened, just keeping it sharp. So that's why this is it's not the 1 week to wealth. It's the 52 weeks to wealth that then repeats again. So that as we grow, as we develop, it starts compounding. Our wisdom, our activities, our net worth, our results, everything start compounding, and then they create that momentum that we shared earlier. And it goes into every part of our life. This goes to our spiritual life. It goes to our physical. It goes to our financial. It goes in every area. And I also want to share a quick little story about the importance of activity. in every area as well. So unfortunately, my late mother's late husband had multiple strokes. And what happened was half his body, for those of you who have experienced around strokes, is that oftentimes people lose functionality. Well, in this particular case, my mom's husband, he lost the ability, but it was in his brain, not in his body, if that makes sense. All of the opportunities to keep the ability to move on that one side of his body was all in his brain, which meant that, and the part that was still there, it could still move, if this makes sense. Like you could still make it move, but he wouldn't do it. So what happened was he started to atrophy. Now, I want us to think in terms of some of our mindsets, some of our activities when it comes to, it's why the deal challenge, the offer challenge coming up. If you are used to not making offers, that part of you is atrophying. So we must take action, and it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be like, we have to know that and be okay with it. Embrace that suck. Like, go into it excited with the opportunity to be like, ooh, this is going to be like challenging. That's why it's called the offer challenge, not the offer easy. Now, here's what's interesting. The doctor, when they said, okay, in order for you to develop that part of you that is atrophying and atrophied, what you do is you tie up and you limit the use of the good arm. You stop being able to use that, which will then force you to then struggle because that's your only choice. It's your only option. So I point that out as the wonder if there's a way that you could prevent yourself from doing what's easy and convenient, the little escape hatches, for example, today's my last day of my Daniel fast. So we're doing this biblical fast with our church and all that. And, so we didn't eat all the nice foods that I would like to be eating to force me to eat more healthily, but also put my body in a little bit of discomfort so I could prove to myself that I can still survive and that I don't need all of the things that make us comfortable and easy and all of that. And it also gave me the opportunity to stretch personally, spiritually, and beyond. And I just I encourage you all to be willing to challenge yourself, to maybe slow down on some of the conversation that makes things easy to escape, to not maybe make those offers, not go to that training, not challenge yourself to greatness, not pick up that phone and make those calls. By the way, I did do what we talked about last week. I spent all this week, I'm up to letter J, where I've texted and reached out to almost everybody in my book, and some of them came back as no longer a number. It's been that long, but I've gotten reconnected with some great people and starting to rekindle some of those relationships. So I strongly encourage you, because it's easy to not do it. So with that being said, we're going to be covering a lot of things like this next week as well, on how to overcome some of these conversations. And more importantly, and what came up with the conversation earlier, is what to replace it with. It's not that we just say never give up. It's like, whoa, wait, what is the replacement? Right? Nature abhors a vacuum. So we've got to be able to replace it with something that is going to be more effective, more powerful, and keep us even more sharp. And that's all I have to say about that.
Let's give Doug McGurk a round of applause. Awesome. Which reminds me, Mastery members, the mastermind is today at 12 o'clock. So if I did not remind you or prepare you, make sure you get some food before then. And Dr. Terry, I think our interview thing that we do, we're probably gonna have to move that to after Mastery, after the mastermind.
Fair enough.
This way we have time to get that in. And Darina, let's get your opinion. Let's get the Russian princess to share. Let's give Darina a round of applause. She's been through a pretty rough week, but she's doing amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I guess, it's one of my favorite principles, because just going through all of the 52 gets you sharpened, gets you a good reminder. It reminds you where maybe you didn't implement some of the principles of principle 11 or 12 throughout the year, and it allows you to contemplate on the results of 2021. Like, where is that I didn't accomplish, or where is it that I didn't play full in, or where is that I was scared and I didn't make that call. So it's a great reminder to really go through it, understand where is the biggest challenge for you and go after it. Like if you're afraid of marketing or going live on Facebook, just do it. Just you know what I've done in the past where I was scared of it. I just went to my favorite group and I did like there, not in front of entire 3,000 people, but in front of 100. And then I went to another group where was more people in it and I did another live video. So for example, just do it, even if it's small increments, and find that we call it opportunities, not weakness, in some of the principles where you decided to skip because it was not your thing. So go after the biggest challenge you see on that list, and it will change your 2022. And the other thing I would like to add is the point is not to work, is to build assets. It kind of stick to me, Walter, when you were going through the, I forgot what number was it, but it's really like building assets. And that's what you do every single day. Because like, oh, you're working so much. Like, no, I'm building assets. We see the vision of us traveling, doing things, without worrying, and business is on autopilot with amazing team we have. We're growing, 10xing. So yes, I'm excited. I love my team. I see you guys here. Thank you so much for all your efforts. I know you're testing, trying, going above and beyond. Very good communicating. And yeah, I mean, as you go through all of these principles yourself, you will 10x your own business. And I want everyone to see buying properties, buying land in whatever you are, and also getting wealthy, getting richer, because if you're rich, you can help a lot whole other people. So that's all I have to say about that.
Let's give Darina a round of applause. She is amazing. So if you don't know, Darina runs a sales team. She has a bunch of virtual assistants that work together to drive traffic to our events and bring people into the mentorship, and then bring people to the summit, and then bring people into your world so you can partner with them, whether they have money, whether they have deals, or whether they're looking to do projects for you, do the work, the labor. And again, if you know it's valuable what she's doing for us in the community, she's also helps you connect. She's on Alchemist Nation, connecting people, saying, yeah, this is how you do this, how you do that. And it's easier when you have somebody like a Darina, a connector. Who knows that Doug McGurk is a connector? For me, yes. Darina is a connector. There are people, a few people who I've met who have just made all the connections happen for me. And that's who you're looking for. And for many of you, I'm that connector. For me, Ken Walls is that connector. And I wouldn't have met Ken Walls if it wasn't for Charles Coachman. I wouldn't have met Charles Coachman if it wasn't for Terry Wager. So there's some really crazy relationships and by the way, this is why this one's cool. I wouldn't have met Mark Victor Hansen, Steve Sims, Bob Berg, or Robert Allen if it wasn't for my connection with Ken Walls. So each person that you're connecting could connect to the next level. Hands to camera for catching this. It's cool. It's valuable stuff. So yes, masterminds in a little bit. What Darina was touching on, she talked about doing live video. She talked about we have a team of people who are out there getting influence and reaching out to people. What I'm going to challenge each one of you is to do a live video that's anywhere between 30 seconds to 5 minutes, talking about one principle per week for the next 52 weeks for 2022. And I will give you, in addition, it doesn't have to be live. It could be a reel on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube Shorts. And the reason it doesn't have to be live is because you actually get more views from doing those reels, from doing those short form videos. If you're doing short form videos, you got to keep them under 30 seconds, which is a skill in itself. Some of you too long-winded. You're gonna learn. You're gonna like me. You're like, I try to put a principle in 15 seconds. I'm like, how is this even possible? Until I figure it out. It means just change some of the words. I don't have to say as much. Some of us talk too much, and then some of us don't know what to say. We get 15 seconds. We get 3 seconds in. It's like, okay, what do we do with the rest of these 12 seconds? Hence, Karen, if you know this will be a fun challenge, gonna take you outside of your comfort zone. It's also going to bring followers to you who are moral, ethical, and legal. You can't say the 52 wealth principles without attracting people who are like-minded. Impossible. That's why they're designed the way they're designed. They will only attract people of that mindset. People who are business focused, people who are real estate focused, people who are looking to drive and build in their lives to improve the lives of others. So my challenge to you, and this one challenge will attract more attention to you depending on whether you do it or not, than any other challenge I've ever given. 52 reels, 52 wealth principles, your spin on it. I'm going to challenge you to say your name at the end of every video. Say your name, brand yourself, right? Mitch does scaredy cat out when he jumps off the call. It is branded in my freaking brain because he does it every single time. And I absolutely honor that. That's amazing. So clever, so smart. We're catching this? All right. All the money you want, all the houses you want are in the hands of other people. They need to know about you. They need to know about you if you want to get richer. Real estate agents totally get this. They understand day one. They're like, holy shit, no business. I gotta go become a marketer. I gotta go get good at the social media. For those of us real estate investors, all the money you're looking for to raise is in the hands of other people. All that private capital you're looking access for, I don't have the funds. It's because you haven't built your social media presence, or you haven't reached out on your cell phone, and the reel will help you do that. And Karen, if you're committed, 52 weeks, 52 reels, 52 TikToks, whatever it takes. Awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. Powerful community. Dr. Terry Wager, you're up.
52 principles. It's been an amazing journey this year. Can't wait for next year, see what comes up now. For me, the linchpin is 48, but the first part of 48, I don't care about the personality assessment as much as knowing thyself. Because our big issue in life, at least this is my experience, is I've got this thing, it's called an ego. And the ego is an imposter pretending to be me. And it tells me all about what's going on in my life, tells me all about what's going on in my business, and tells me all about what's going to threaten me and what's going to work really well that might not. And my problem is that I listen to it way too much. And so if I'm not familiar with what's going on with me, I'll get tricked into listening to my ego, tricked into listening to that part of me that's trying to protect myself by pushing things away that are good for me, and they're bringing things that are not so good for me for comfort. And so really being able to know myself is a super important key. And there's this guy Socrates. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of him. Socrates, some call him. He says, an unexamined life is not worth living. And the way I understand that is, when we don't know that our ego is talking to us about what's going on, it ruins all kinds of stuff in our life. And when we're not sure what we really want because we're listening to what we think everybody else wants for us, there's all that confusion. And confusion leads to frustration. Confusion leads to slowing down, hesitating, procrastinating. And it shows up in our life by not sure what to do, by getting confused, by not putting in offers, by not growing our businesses. And so when we're doing that, it's all because we're having a problem with our fear around what our head's telling us. It comes from the emotion. When we can really know ourselves, which really comes from being able to talk to somebody else about ourselves, because, well, we don't have a very good view of ourselves, unfortunately. It's like a cruel trick the universe played on us, is to make us need other people. And so when we actually are able to see ourselves through somebody else's eyes, we can step up and we can be that powerful person that we're supposed to be, that we were meant to be, that we were born to be. And so for me, that principle number 48, know thyself, is amazingly important. And in Masters of Influence this week, coming up, we are going to talk about how to really discern between what we tell ourselves and what's real. Because a lot of times we talk to ourselves, it is not real. It's all the fears, it's all the maybes, it's all the possibilities. But when we can boil down and really see the difference between what's real in our lives and what's fantasy, we can start to be more powerful. And that's what Master of Influence is all about, is becoming more powerful in your actions because you're more connected to yourself. So, super excited for this weekend, and that's what I got on 52 weeks right now.
Let's give Dr. Terry Wager the round of applause. Dr. Terry is known for talking about the bullet train of action, getting you on the action track so that you can be more successful. This week, he will be with me and Doug, and I know some of the other coaches are coming. Mike Shine's flying in, Mitch is flying in. We're going to be talking about the mindset of success, how to become a master of influence, how to speak and have other people say, I want to work with that man or woman. I want to hand them money. I trust them to invest. And how to speak to yourself and get yourself to just get up out of bed and go do the things you don't want to do. Remove procrastination, install the right habits, install the right thoughts so that you just take the right actions and move forward powerfully. It's all up here. So we're going to teach you how to become a master of influence, master yourself, be able to influence yourself, put the programming that you want into your own mind. We're using NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, hypnosis to do this. Hence the camera, if you're okay, if we hypnotize you, if it must be done to get the job done faster, it's okay to take shortcuts. Hell yeah. Look, we weren't all raised with rich parents. We got to take some alternative methods to get there. And if you're looking to get that taken care of this year, we're only doing Master of Influence one time per year. It's a very intensive program for me and the coaches. It is very difficult for us to run it multiple times. So we're only doing it one time, which is why you have been told about it over and over every week. We're just doing our ethical duty to let you know that it's coming up. And if you haven't signed up for it, that you're missing out. It will not be recorded because it's kind of impossible to teach this without a person in person, right? You have to keep an eye on the person's eyes. You have to be paying attention. Are they listening? Does this make sense? It's very individual kind of training. We're getting this, that it's got to be done in person. So everybody flying into Orlando, I can't wait to see you. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait to be doing the development. Hands to the camera if you've already booked your flight, booked your trip, booked the hotel. Hell yeah. I'm very excited. Mitch Jorsky, you're up.
Yes, sir. Masters of Influence, I'm amped. I know you just had everyone getting juiced up, but I'm seriously amped. I'm straight student mode. I'm going to play the role of Ron, not a coach bowling, when I'm up at Masters of Influence. I am straight student mode. I can't wait to get schooled by Doug and Terry. Wealth of experience and knowledge. You guys don't even know what you're getting yet. It's so awesome. Sorry. Anyway, that was my own little personal tangent.
There too. Mitch, just so you know, I'll be talking about social media, how to influence. I guess, Doug and Terry.
Let's not even go down that road. Otherwise, it's going to turn into a one-on-one conversation between me and Walter and everyone listening. The love-hate relationship with that. But yeah, social media can be your friend. Use it to your advantage, and also use it in a way that makes you more productive, but also still happy. It's fine, but fine. There's a fine line to everything. But I digress. So this week's principle, sharpen the saw. So when I hear sharpen the saw, all I think about is the other, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Fact, so to speak, that's out there, or practice about the 10,000 hours that most people have heard of. 10,000 hours. What do you think sharpening the saw is? It kind of is 10,000 hours. Now I can give you a ton of different examples. Obviously, you talk about sharpening the saw and putting in those hours. So like an easy example for me to say is like, with basketball, I played basketball in college. Most people that have met me know I'm kind of tall, so it makes sense. But I'm also the other stigma of I am white, I cannot jump. So I needed to be good at a lot of the other things, AKA the fundamentals. So I used to sharpen the saw with shooting, and therefore my shooting form, because with specific form, you can shoot better. And that's not something where, hey, I practiced for a year and then that's it. I never have to practice my form again, because you start losing those habits over time, or, you know, when whatever, forever, you get lazy, whatever it is. And then you notice you're not making as many shots. So how do I fix that? It's time to do some work on my form, AKA sharpen the saw. So it holds so true in so many things. And, you know, that's part of the 10,000 hours, you know, putting in that 10,000 hours of working on my shooting form, which is something I did in high school and in college. Right. And as you go in life, you get into other things. Right. So now, you know, everyone knows me as the crypto cat. Well, started in crypto in 2015. We all know I'm a crypto junkie. I probably spend time almost every single day on crypto. If you do the math, over 5 years, we're talking easily over 10,000 hours of me doing things with crypto. So it's also not only sharpening your saw, but leveraging people who have already done the sharpening and are masters in their space. Hence, going to something like Masters of Influence and learning how to influence and sell better from guys like Doug, who have been doing it for decades and trained under Tony Robbins, and guys like Terry that essentially get you to remove all the junk off your tracks so you can get on the bullet train, right?
Whose track?
Your track, their track, everyone's track, our track. And you know what? You just made me think of something else. And the point is, like, this environment. So I was doing some crypto stuff earlier in the call, and I was on Discord, which is like a chat server. And I'm on there in like this specific room with like Leo Finance. And there was a bunch of negativity just spitting through the room because like the site's down and you have a bunch of people in there that are not like-minded people that are in this room, right? And I literally texted in there. I'm like, all right, guys, I'm on a call called 52 Weeks to Wealth Principles. There's tons of positivity and growth in that room. I'll be back later. Because I was just like, why am I like you guys are literally just dragging me down? Like, I don't want to be a part of this right now. Like, no, like, you're not my people. So, and, you know, ideally, hopefully I can bring some of them over and they can share in the positivity and growth. So that's another random sidebar. But either way, sharpen your damn saw, 10,000 hours. It happens before you know it, because life doesn't stop. The clock keeps going. And, you know, 3, 4, 5 years goes by like this. And you look back and you're like, oh crap, what did I get done? So you might as well have that focused on something. You might as well be sharpening something, build that skill, and, you know, master something. And then everything else, that's what the resources are for. All right. Like, you don't need to become a master in cryptocurrency. Just come learn it from me. So, which, if you don't know anything about crypto, every Tuesday I do a free call. You can learn the basics, so you don't have to be scared of it anymore. So leverage my 10,000 hours, leverage Walter's 10,000 hours, and every other coach, and any other mentor you might have out there in the world. So we all have mentors. I have a mentor. So Walter's got several mentors and coaches. Anyway, I'm done rambling. Thank you. And as Walter reminded me, scaredy cat out.
Let's give Mitch Chorsky a round of applause. That was masterful, by the way. And so what Mitch just said, two things. One, he gets so many points for having a great story that ties into his offering, right? He, told a story that's compelling, talks about 10,000 hours and says, by the way, I got 10,000 hours in crypto. If you want to jump in, use that. Masterpiece. Wonderful. The other thing he said is, if you have to pay a coach, you pay a mentor. Who else do you pay if you want something done? You pay an employee, right? Hands to the camera if you've ever paid employees or have been an employee and been paid, right? Why do you do that? You do that because you want their hours, you want their resources, because they are a master, right? And as a business owner, I'm always looking to hire people smarter, faster, better than me. That's why you look at any of my employees, any of my team members, they are better at what they do than I ever could be. That's why we hired them, right? They're smarter, faster, they're more intelligent, they're more skilled. That's what you're looking for, is people who are more passionate, more talented. You're hiring them to move you forward. You're leveraging their skills, their time, their resources, so you can go to the next level. And it's the same thing with when you're hiring a mentor. They're not above you. I mean, everybody should be above you, right? You surround yourself with people who are smarter, better, faster at everything you do. Hands to camera if that makes sense, right? So if you're pumping up the machine, you should also pump up the resources the machine's working from. Get a better plan, get a better strategy to go out there. Somebody who's read the manual before, not just read the manual, but actually driven the vehicle before. Before you jump on and start learning how to drive, get somebody who's done it, who has experience. I love that, Mitch. When I hire my coaches, I know that coach now knows I'm their responsibility, right? When I hire a coach, I don't hire the coach because I want their knowledge or information. I want them to babysit me. That's why I pay so much for my coaches, because I require heavy accountability. Because if they don't text me, I don't get it done. I just know that about myself at this level of like where I'm at. I don't have to do anything. Hence, Camp, you understand that. I'm independently wealthy. I don't have to do a thing. So in order for me to get to the next level, I require somebody to stay on top of what I'm doing, to keep me on track, to keep me, moving in the right direction. It's embarrassing to say it, but I have to hire people in order to keep me moving forward. Hence, Camp, if that might be true for you too. If you know that at some point, there may be like what it is. So thank you for listening. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for all the advice. We're going to open up to questions right after Michael Shine shares his feedback on Wealth Principle 52. One more round of applause for Mitch Jorsky. We love the scaredy cat. We love crypto. Crypto's down, buy the dip. There may be some more dips. Buy those dips too. Hence, Camp, you understand that's how real estate investing works. It's how crypto works. It's how the stock market works. It's how businesses work. Buy when there's blood in the streets. When everybody's fearful, we get greedy. Michael Shine, you're up.
So this is actually the second, we just finished the second time through the 52 weeks for me. So we went through it, and then we went through it again. And when I was sitting down this morning, I was thinking, well, okay, here we go. We're at the end. Let's start it again. But what actually happened while I was listening to Walter speak was that it was an amazing reminder for me of all of these wealth principles. Sometimes people think the coaches aren't trying to progress further, but we all are, and we're all growing. And so like I heard 44, systematize your business so it works without you. That's exactly where I am right now. That is my goal for 2022. So I just encourage everybody to go back and read the titles to all of the 52 weeks of wealth, and see which ones have an impact on you, because they're all extremely valuable. And I just watched this community, and I was talking to Paula Miller about this yesterday. When you take a step back and look at this community, you see so many success stories. You see people buying properties all over the place. Sometimes you get some FOMO when somebody gets a big deal. You're like, oh man, I wish that was mine. But when you take the step back, you see so many successes, and it's all because of this community and all working together. So it's a time to reflect on what the 52 weeks have meant, and then get geared up to start it all over again next week. So that's what it means to me. So sharpen the saw. Thank you.
Let's give Michael Shine a round of applause. And let's give each one of you a round of applause. You made it this far. This is your chance, your opportunity to ask questions, to ask or give us ideas or strategies or something that you liked from today's call.